So let's take a look at this homework very quickly. So how in the world are we getting from ABC to A prime, B prime, and C prime? Well, ABC is here, right? Here's your initial blue triangle. And if you ask yourself, if you think carefully, how in the world does it get to A prime, B prime, and C prime? It literally had to turn, right? And there's only one type of transformation that allows us to turn, like to one side, and that's rotation. So capital R, right? And it rotated how many degrees is clearly going to be 90 degrees, and it's going to be also clockwise because it's going like this, right? So it is clockwise. Okay, so far so good. That's pretty much it. And it's very specific. It rotated along point A right here. You can clearly see. Most of the time when we do rotation, it's about the origin, but here the point of rotation is actually along point A, right? So that's how we got there. Then that's the first transformation that allows it to happen. Now, how in the world did it go from A prime, B prime, C prime to A double prime, B double prime, and C double prime? Well, since it's maintaining the order of A, B, C, and A, B, C, it's not doing any reflecting, or it's not doing any further rotation, so we know the only other option is translation. And so all you have to do is map A prime to A double prime. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 5 units to the right, and 1, 2 down, so -2. And that's it. That's how we would get to this transformation, to go from regular ABC to A prime, B prime, C prime, rotate 90, on -2, -1, right? Along that point. We didn't rotate about the origin, or it's about, about. You rotate about 90 degrees, about -2, -1. All right, so far so good. Let's take a look at this. This is a little bit more tricky because to get from ABCD to ABCD, there's two things that had to have happened. Or actually, it's either one thing or two things, okay? So here's your first possibility. First possibility could be that it was reflected, right? And you know it's reflected because the letters are backwards. This was perfectly reflected along this line right here, okay? And I'm making it dotted because it's kind of interesting, right? First off, it's a horizontal line, so I'm gonna say lowercase r, reflection off of, and it's like in between, right? Because you want it to be evenly spaced. So this would be y equals -0.5. That's the first idea, okay? That's the first possibility. Or if they don't accept this as an answer, another possibility could have been that it got reflected off of one of the solid lines, like over 1, like y equals 1, and then it got translated 1 unit down, right? So if you reflect it off of y equals 1, which is this red line over here, then D and C would be here and here, but then it had to have translated 1 unit down. So that means it's going to be 0, -1, right? That's another possibility. These are two possibilities to get from A, B, C, D to A prime, B prime, C prime, and D prime, okay? And finally, how did we get to A double prime? Well, look at where A prime is and where A double prime is. It seems like there's a lot of things that's happening here. First off, in terms of rotation, is it clockwise or counterclockwise? Well, if A is there and A double prime is there, it's going whoosh, like that, right? And that tells me it's clockwise. How many degrees? It looks like about 90 degrees. Let's double check. No, it's not 90 degrees. So if I rotate it 90 degrees, it'll be up here. And then it has to be translated. So let's take a look here. If this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, so this is -5, -3, right? And then 90 degrees will make it flip. And then this is going to be negative-positive, so -3, +5 is here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's where it goes. So basically it's rotated 90 degrees and then it got translated. So rotated 90 degrees and then it got translated 1, 2, 3, 4 units to the right and 1, 2 units down. So 4 units to the right and 2 units down. That's it. So yeah, again, a little bit more complicated, but it's a matter of like, you only have 3 rules to play around with, so you gotta think critically here, okay? This part is exactly what we did today, so you guys have to answer this yourself. A double prime and B double prime is the result of these composition, rotating 90 degrees about 0, 0, and first translating it to 6, and then rotating 90. So your job is to identify what A is, B is, the coordinates, and then what A prime is and B prime after the translation, and then what A double prime is and B double prime is after the rotation of 90 degrees.